Hello, my ladies and rugged gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of Look What's Happening in the Spirit Realm. You are going to love the message that I have today. They literally do not expect this coming. You don't expect this coming. I'm hearing complete plot twist. Complete plot twist. There is this weird, strange fear that people have when you disappear from their vicinity, when you're no longer accessible to them, when you're not saying anything to them. We have reached that point. But the one thing that you're not aware of that's going to switch up, they're not aware of this either. They're expecting you to come back out like you always have, with a new skill or something completely different about you. But what they do not expect is your forgiveness. They don't expect you to welcome them back into your life. Not that you should or you will, but there is a plot twist happening as we speak. And I feel like my camera is a little bit crooked. Is that a little better? At this point, people are sort of tiptoeing around you. They're testing the water. They're wanting to see if things have calmed down, if you remember what they've done. But the thing they don't expect is you do remember. You do know where they stand with you, and so do they. But, my dear, this is exactly why you are what I'm going to start calling a variant, an enigma, a anomaly. It's because you have a tendency to completely, I guess, be malleable to the hands of God and shift timelines, not just for yourself, but for the people around you, because they can never truly expect what you're going to do next, even when it seems written in stone. When it seems like they've got you cornered and they know exactly what you're going to do next, you don't even know what you're going to do next. The hands of God literally operate you. And this part, this, I'm going to call it the Joseph moment. It's literally the Joseph moment, whatever you want to call it, right? I'm not religious. I think you already know this by now. But it's that moment of the plot twist where people expect you to be bitter. They expect you to come at them with the same energy they came at you with. But they don't understand that you literally create spikes, or whatever you want to call it, in timelines, because there is an element about you, the chi that I've talked about, the X factor, that literally exists outside of time, outside of karmic dualities. And you, how do I explain this? You give off that aura of not quite being from here, because it's almost like you have the information from the past, the future, and the present all within you right now. And people might think you've forgotten. And this is why they're tiptoeing around you. It's because they don't quite know where you're standing with them, or where they stand with you in your newness. So as you dip or kind of hide out for a minute or two, there are people who genuinely don't know what to make of what to expect. They need to prepare themselves. That's how they feel. They need to prepare themselves against some kind of war. Let's be honest. It's not like you've just sat back and taken beatings. You have waged war. And in most cases, it's a spiritual war that you've waged. And people have felt the brunt of it. But the thing that I came into understanding yesterday was, in the ways in which you have abandoned people is the ways in which you will be abandoned too. So kind of look at your life, right? This isn't some kind of burn. Look at your life and investigate the parts of it that feel unjust. More often than not, you will find that there are elements about you that you aren't aware of with regards to how you meet people or how you treat people. And That's just a side note. But what I'm hearing now is there's going to be a flooding of individuals from, I wouldn't even call it the past, it could even be a recent past. But these are your family members that you have sworn up and down you will never forgive and, see again. All of these things. Something is going to shift inside you. And you are the very person who believed once you've overcome the evils that they've done onto you, that you will hold your peace, that you wouldn't really communicate with them or care for them again. Heck, you wouldn't even visit their funeral if they died. And for a long time, that was justified. But what Spirit is getting ready to do is something that you don't expect, and neither do they. It's something that's taking away the burden, I want to say, because you may not notice, but the amount of people that have done you wrong in all aspects of your life is the amount of burden that you carry. Even if you have forgiven them, that's not even the point. The point is you have not forgiven yourself fully. There is a part of you that feels responsible for what has been done to you, and that is exactly what Spirit is coming to take. So, in this new blessing that you receive, it's going to be bestowed upon you by also taking away the burden that you've carried to take justice into your own hands, not in the sense of vengeance, but in the sense that you can't put the pain down because they're going to come for you again. You can't put the pain down because nobody had your back. That burden, that burden is going to feel so good when it's lifted off. And it's going to hurt so much because behind all of that clenched fist, you're going to realize you turned your back on yourself and you blame yourself, and this is why things perpetuated themselves. Things that you believed were conquered with regards to karma, whatever you want to call it, keep coming back because there's a part of you that's holding animosity towards the way you've dealt with things, the way you've handled yourself, or the people that you've allowed to trample all over you. And it's not your fault. This plot twist, you, in the past version of you, also, speaking of past versions, this plot twist is coming with the alignment of all the stray versions of yourself in all these timelines. You, my dear, you've seen the series Loki, right? The variants. That is you. You There's a regathering happening of the selves of your nest. I've talked about this in my other videos. It's almost like all these timelines that have been shut off from you that are operating simultaneously, and you've only had to deal with a few characters of yourself, which is quite a lot compared to a lot of people who are living very two-dimensional lives, but you have more to you. You are unnumbered. And all of these aspects of yourself in the spirit are beginning to align into one rhythm, literally meeting in the center, in the vortex where you are. There's going to be such a potent energetic signature that you are literally going to be collapsing certain timelines that, not just for you, that were very karmic, but for those who have come in contact with you, they are truly blessed. In my other video yesterday, I spoke about the Christification, that you are the Christification of your family. But what does that mean? It means you are literally there reorganizing or reigniting. How do I put this? Bear with me. I'm hearing you are like the order. And if you are in the stage right now where you're feeling heaps of vengeance and upset, that's okay. That's okay. I'm hearing Houdini. You are like the Houdini of timelines. This is exactly what the Christification means. You took on all of the quote unquote curses, all of the stagnant energy that refused to relinquish, refused to move, and it was all dumped on you because you are like the Houdini of timelines, the Christ of your family, your lineage, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't mean you are the only one. It just means you know what it means. And I know some people are going to unfollow me. Go ahead. Go ahead. That's okay. You'll be back. They always come back. This part, right? Sorry. This part, this disappearance that you're making, this Houdini act that you're pulling off, this right here is the final form. That's what I'm hearing. Oh my God. Some of you are entering your final form. And everything that your family, your friends, these people that you've come in contact with knew that you had in you. It's funny because they will celebrate you. And you know what's even funnier? The thing that you don't expect is you will allow them to celebrate you. You will celebrate them. You will forgive them. I made a video a long time ago on TikTok regarding quote unquote Satan. I'm going to finish this video here. That it's all just a role. We're all playing a role. Some of us are quote unquote variants, igniters, black sheep, whatever you want to call it, chosen. And some of us are Satan incarnates, completely demonic and evil. But all of us are playing the same role. It's how do we get to the final form? How do we become willing participants of being a creator, the creator, being like the creator? Because it would have been easy if we didn't have a choice, if we didn't know duality and all of those things, but we wouldn't really be God in experiencing itself. We wouldn't. And this is the only way. And that video that I made a long time ago ended with me saying that I do feel in some timeline out there, there's a big quote unquote dining table, and it's full of all these villains and all these heroes, and we're all just kind of laughing at the past or at the creation of us, our awareness of the beingness that we are. So, with that being said, my dear Houdinis, until next time, as usual, if you want a reading from me, the email is in the description box, and so is my book and everything else you want to know. Aside from that, I don't reach out to you via text or anything for a reading, so email me if you want to know more about the details regarding that. But aside from that, February is going to be a spontaneous month. I can just feel it. It's difficult, but it's going to be amazing. Bye.